Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why you're attracting who you're attracting, why everything's playing out the way that it is. Especially if there's many different realities that play out at one time. Why would we choose to live a reality that keeps us stuck in a place of disempowerment? We wouldn't, right? So would we even know that we were in a place of disempowerment? We wouldn't unless these karmic experiences play out. The problem is a lot of times we never learn from those experiences, and those experiences continue to karmic loop within our life. And that just is, it plays out within every few years, which they might say uh, every 8 years, you enter into a karmic cycle. So it's that you're presented with a karmic experience, and that's a test. And the test could be anything from do you value and love yourself to are you going to like choose the right person, right? That in your life. It could be anything. But if you choose one perception and you go with it, and it could be imbalanced. And imbalanced means, well, I thought that this person was my person, but what they were a karmic mate. Or you could say, I thought that this job was going to be the better job, but now I'm working for like a tyrant. So again, these spiritual karmic tests, they challenge us. And if we don't pass the karmic test, what'll happen is again, we continue to get that experience. So there's always this fear that we hold on to. And that's really the energetic template. The energetic template is that energy that we hold on to, that we don't remember, we're not consciously thinking about it. However, when the experience happens, it triggers. It triggers that core belief. It triggers that experience. And so we have an opportunity to break the karmic cycles that keep us stuck in a place of limitation and disempowerment. So let's see how it's playing out within your connection. Also, know anything of any importance or relevance to the channel you can find in the description box. That includes my shadow healing coaching program, $7.99. It is on YouTube. However, we are on Zoom right now. So if you haven't gotten the link, please reach out and let me know. I check it periodically, but sometimes, like for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't notify me, does not notify me. So I'm constantly having to check my spam. I'm constantly like, there's probably some weird email setting that I just don't know, and I'm like, why isn't it working? You know? All right. So let's see what the underlining energy is. The underlining energy is always on the first card that I pull out, and it's really what's influencing your situation, which that energy is virtue. So I believe that you are the person that is like influencing this energy, like intuition, right? That's just my intuition. But I feel like really you're like, how do I deal with this situation? And so the only way is in the highest state of consciousness, because you can't fight fear with fear, right? So if you approach this person with anger, you're not going to get the results that you want. If you approach this person trying to manipulate, trying to reason, well, they're not emotionally intelligent. So it's like, how do you confront the energy? And I feel like you're like, well, I'm just going to do it like virtuously. And that means fairly, bravely, but also diplomatically, and that's the underlining energy that you're influencing it. Now, this person may be, let's just see before I say, yeah, they would be betrayal that is what they did, but they're holding back. And that's what I felt. I felt like this person is trying to read you and they can't. So intuitively, you and this person have a very strong psychic connection. However, this person doesn't act from an a sensitive and a heart-based consciousness. They navigate the relationship more from a fear-based consciousness. So it's again, they use that sensitivity to see how to approach you, to see what they can say. Now, a person only does that when they want to leave out information. I'm just saying. And this betrayal is really why you're like, how am I going to deal with this person? And it's virtuously. That's why. Because I feel like what it is the cycle to this connection like you have the opportunity to stop a karmic cycle from beginning, and your intuition really is letting you know that. It's like you don't know how you know, but you just know. So you're connected to somebody that's got to be a soulmate of some sort, right? So let's take a peek and see what kind of relationship is it. Or is it, can you give us any clue on a spiritual level what kind of connection this is? Since this person, I don't believe, has come in contact with you, yet you just know that they're going to be reaching out to you, and you're like, how am I going to deal with this energy? So it's like this journey is teaching us one of the most important spiritual lessons, patience. So the person that's connected to you believes that they're a twin flame. I know why it's again, it's like they think that it's just going to work out. They don't know how. And somehow, this is going to sound crazy, but it's like it's for healing. This is a twin flame connection that they just kind of feel like it's just going to work out. And that you're the alchemist, well, you're both the alchemist of your life. Like you both are here to transform love into light, which is what makes me feel that this person is a twin flame, even though they betrayed you. We don't see how they betrayed you, but what we're seeing. I feel abandoned, and I often feel like others let me down. So I feel like, if anything, this person abandoned you and they let you down. So that's the energy that needs to be alchemized. The energy that needs to be alchemized is the fact that this person betrays, like, again, not just you, but themselves, because they believe that this is a soulmate connection, but they believe somehow that you can help them heal. They're accessing past life wisdom and it's helping them to understand things with a new perspective. I feel like you've been in disconnection for a long time. And what this person still feels is, I still have a connection to you. Even though this person has tried to walk away, they tried to destroy the connection, they tried to do everything, you're the energy that still remains. So even though they betrayed this relationship, what they know is, I still have this connection, and so much time has gone by that like they're starting to have a lot of deja vus. They're starting to again feel like you have to be in their life for a reason, because they've done everything and everything to destroy a relationship, and they normally don't have strong connections. They don't have them. People don't like again affect them. So again, this person says that, well, sometimes our conversations are lighthearted and playful, and that eases the tension there when, again, you talk, because there's talk, because this person knows that they do shit that was like wrong, that was babyish, that, that wasn't giving you time, was like playing coy, was acting like weren't knowing what like you were asking for, what you were asking for was too much, or there was always just like making this connection a lot more difficult than what it needed to be. And what you felt like, well, I wasn't getting anything from the connection, because this person long ago shut down those parts of them that wanted love and romance and intimacy, but you happen to make them long for those things again. So it's again because they've done everything to destroy this connection. And they're like, why? It has to mean something. It has to mean something. It's almost like it's putting this person into a place of surrender, because it's like, I've done everything. I've tried to replace you. I've tried to cheat on you. I've tried to make you, like, again, do everything. And I still have those feelings for you. But they project their own fears and limitations onto you. And I think that you do too, because this person not giving you anything, like, and playing coy and acting like this connection wasn't anything, I feel like you did get mad and you did project your fears, like, and limitations. But the fear is, it's like, I don't want to give you my time and my energy unless I know I'm going to get A, B, and C, whatever those things are that you want, right? And so that could be, hey, you need to call me every day. You need to see me at least 2 times a week, whatever those things those guidelines. And so, and that is what freaks out this person. So the thing is, they're like, well, you wanted me to be a certain way. Well, twin flame, you would think they would act a certain way, right? But at the time you met them, they were not in twin flame energy. They were in betrayal energy, which means a past life karmic mate. But during this time of separation, what we're seeing is they've flipped from past life karmic mate to twin flame because their perception of you has changed. Their perception of the situation has changed, and it's because they still have feelings. Is because they're like, well, like I have to surrender to it. Because the surrendering is the fact that the energy that they feel with the twin flame is you feel like home. That energy is of God. That energy is of unconditional love. This person has tried to destroy it. They've tried to do everything. What they see is they can't, because you can't destroy unconditional love. It just is. Which brings us back to why you're like, how the fuck do I deal with this energy? Like they're gonna come back and they're gonna be, but that's how they treated me before. Because this person is gonna, they long for your kisses and your touch. So again, maybe even if it wasn't that much, it was the connection that this person just feels like, again, you're home. And when a person longs for that comfort, longs for it, they believe that divine timing is what, like, it's that everything's going to come together in divine timing. That is that time is healing our wounds and creating the perfect conditions for our reunion. This is what they feel. This, it may not be what you feel. This is maybe what you used to feel for this person, and now you are like stuck in betrayal, which is what I'm feeling. So, which is not uncommon for the twin flame connection, that there's always a runner and a chaser, and then the runner now becomes the chaser, and the chaser becomes the runner. It's just how it goes. So again, they need to be strong in who they are before they can merge their energy with yours in the 3D. They're afraid they can lose themselves in this relationship. So again, during separations, what's happening is healing. And that's why divine timing is happening, because this person is working on themselves. They have changed their perception of who you are and what's important to them. But what they're seeing is, well, if in order for me to have that, I would have to be strong in myself. This person wasn't strong in themselves. Again, they betrayed you. We're not seeing how they did, but I know in their heart they'll be to like that. Whether you believe it or not, they believe in their heart that, again, that you guys will be together, but you're both working on things. Now, this may not be how you feel. I believe at one time you believe that this could have worked, but it's, again, we don't know whether or not you feel that way. I mean, understand past life karmic mate means that too. If this person doesn't learn, what they see is you don't have that unconditional love for them. You're not willing to forgive and let go, or you feel like you can't forgive and let go, because of the betrayal. It's like, so like this, it goes, it can go either way. The cycle will continue or it will be the end. It has the potential to unlock the DNA and unlock the DNA through how we choose to play it. So again, this person is saying, I pulled away because they tend to get very overwhelmed just with their own life, and they want forgiveness. That's at the top of the deck. Again, they do feel terrible for hurting you. So, I mean, this is just what's on top of a different deck. And what we can say here is, what are you going to do? Because we knew that. I didn't place those cards there to be like, oh, like it's again, it's like those cards were there, and but we knew that already, so that's confirmation. And but we can say, okay, so how do you feel about it? Like, how do you feel? You're gonna evaluate your options. You're gonna really analyze this when they come back, and there's gonna be a point that you're gonna take your time. You're gonna take your time to assess it because there's a part of you that just doesn't trust them, to be honest with you. You know, but there still is passion. So it's not like there isn't, but also, you know, there is passion, but if it's not where you want it to be, if after your assessment, you're gonna like break up, you're gonna say no. Like, this person is hoping that the passion is again because they're like, they feel that that's still there, can like push you both into like that, like, you know, that excitement instead of breaking up. The sudden and unexpected, they'll be coming in fast when they do, but I don't feel like like I feel like the answer for you is no. And that's what I really did feel like. I felt like it's almost like too late for this person. Again, no. And but I know that the runner becomes the chaser. So, will this person, will it be the end? Well, listen, it's for you, for in this story, it's it's over. Like you're like, it's the end, it's the conclusion. Because again, it's like you just feel like right now you're purpose driven and you feel like you need to let this connection go. It's almost like yes, it's a little bit of a sacrifice, but it's because of how they treated you. And like you're focused on what you're doing. And so, I feel like there's gonna like whatever it is that you're working on, like that wish is granted, right? That's what's going to happen. So it's like this person comes back as that's happening, which is why I feel like you're going to be like, no. So this person in their mind, they think that they can fix it. But I feel like, as far as right now, you're going to be like, no, I'm not really into it. Can this person fix it over time if they keep trying? No, I feel like there's going to be part of you that, let's see, like, would you? Um, well, the thing is like you still feel like you would have to guard your heart again, and that you feel like maybe the person wasn't ready for love, but you know that they're sorry. And you just feel like we already have too many like past lives together. And though we have these past lives together, I just feel like they're difficult. And at this point, you want to stop that cycle. You don't see it as like this is healing. That's the irony. Now this person sees this connection as, oh, you're healing. There's a reason why I couldn't walk away. I had to go through this whole experience to learn. And you're like, and I needed to go through this whole experience to see exactly that you're not my person because my person wouldn't have done all that. And that's it's and the irony because that's really where you are and you're like, and you already started a new cycle. So you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Wow, that took a turn. I knew that you were going to say no, but I thought maybe, you would be like, oh, okay, no, but this person can fight my way back in. They can fight like because it was a twin flame, but I feel like no, in this story, you feel like I realize that you're not my twin flame. You're a fake. You now see me, but it's like you shouldn't have had to go through all that to see it. There's a part of you that's like, I can't unsee what you showed me. One, two, three, four, five, Six, we look at the inner child cards to see why did you attract this person into your life? Like, what was that from? Well, the spirit says right there, trauma, oppression, imagination, laughter, naive, and love. Well, when we see this card right here, I hate this card because this person has their head, their foot on this person's head. So, there's a sense of, and this parent, like, there's almost a sense of the parent knowing that that's what the child's doing, but not really caring. So for some of you, not all, but some of you that had stepbrothers and stepsisters, I feel like the step parent might have known that they bullied you and that it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. Like it's okay. Or whatever you went through that you felt that was traumatic, that kept you down, that you were like, well, they don't really care, or even if that parent was oppressing you, being like don't express yourself that way, don't use those words, don't dress that way, don't like that band, don't be friends with that person, don't do whatever it was, but there was severe consequences. It's not just don't do it, it's severe consequences, which is where the trauma came from. So again, someone that was in your environment close, that was in your family. So it could be like, again, anybody from like a stepbrother, a stepsister. It could be like a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, like somebody close. It's again, which that trauma is what pushes us into like our gifts, because child goes into the imagination. And so they become very disconnected from their physical body, the physical world, because it's uncomfortable to be in the physical world. So the only safe place is in the mind and the imagination. So what happens is that the child kind of stays naive. They don't really grow. They don't really learn. It's again because they're too busy surviving. So again, laughter is not really part of the survival unless, again, they're going into their mind and they're not getting the love and nurturing. So they're not being taught how to love themselves either. That if anything, they're being conditioned to believe that they shouldn't speak, that it's not safe to speak, it's not safe to be who you really are. And that could be, I wanted to marry this person, or I wanted to date this person, or I wanted to do this for a living. I wanted to, and I was oppressed and I was bullied. So again, took my joy, took my happiness. That's traumatic because the mind doesn't know the difference between physical or psychological, but oppression really tells us that there's physical abuse there. So then we have to really recondition. We have to recondition our nervous system then. We have to recondition how we think, because we were taught that it wasn't safe. And so you attracted someone that really, it wouldn't be safe. That's what you felt like. That's why you won't go back with this person, because you're like, oh no. I already have traumatic experiences where I didn't feel safe, where I was oppressed, and this person tried to, again, do it in a nasty way. And that's why you don't see them as a twin flame. And you choose to, again, be on your soul's calling. You're listening to the whispers of your own soul guiding you, and you're aligning your actions with your values to make sure that you're only going to manifest people and situations and experiences that are going to support you and love you. This experience was just a stepping stone, and each small step brings you closer to overcoming your fears and to know that it's all part of the grand journey, that all experiences, like I said, that are good or bad, they still help you grow. And that now it's all time for you to again be led with by your fearless heart, which is not to run out into relationships, but more or less about being able to do what's right, like don't let the world and the experiences harden you. Obviously being connected to someone that played all these games and now that it's over, they want to come back. It's almost like you're kind of like like a little pissed off, and like we can see why you would get pissed off, right? Like we know that because it's like they're playing a game. So being that they play games, it's like, I want to get wrapped up in that shit. No, and Spirit says no, because it's time for you to release the limiting beliefs that no longer serve to you. Again, anything that makes you feel like you can't achieve like what it is, and that could be a happy relationship and a successful career, whatever it is, Spirit says the only limits are yourself. So this relationship hopefully helped you alchemize, using your power to turn the adversity into opportunity to create the positive change. Because we can't just get rid of negative energy. So the trauma that you experience obviously created negative experience. Anytime that we don't feel loved or we feel disconnected from love, love is the energy of God, the energy of the universe, and there is no separation. However, growing up in an environment where there was trauma because you were oppressed, you know, you were conditioned. So again, wouldn't take your joy, take your happiness, but Spirit says attracting a past life, karmic mate, that has all these issues that didn't want to learn them, that had the opportunity to learn them. It's almost like too little, too late to try again. That's all that's the energy. It's like it's just like you did all of this, and you did all this, now you want to come back and apologize. It's almost like the damage is done and you cannot unsee. So leave off with one more message. But understand, because that energy was so like what it is, it really did help you alchemize it. Because you're like, no, I'm not tolerating it. And one more card, which is action. Your divine action ignites love and harmony. Be aware of your thoughts and driven by positive forces, and listen to your heart. Your desire to manifest light transform tests into growth. That's what this relationship is. And challenges into opportunities, and fears into love. And what this shows is, again, that you're transforming, again, the limitless potential that are really going to help you release those core beliefs, to change them, to free yourself, to alchemize, because everything that happens in the spiritual realm manifests what happens on the physical realm. So those core beliefs that are subconscious, due to like being around a person that triggered this, these past wounds, really did allow you to transform those that pain into power. And that's really, once you're taking that energy, you're able to channel it towards purpose, towards, again, a whole new life. And that's really what Spirit says. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.